I took on the challenge of starting a brand new wallet with just $2,000, and in just a week, I was able to make over $50,000. And in this video, I'm breaking down exactly how I did it step by step with live trade clips so you can copy me and trade the same. So just to show you guys the proof, we got the challenge wallet pulled up right here, which I started with about $2,000 with. And if I head to the P&L for the day on May 12th, we can see that it was 13.5K all the way to where we are now to $64,000. That's a 5x on our entire portfolio in literally just a week, and a 30x on the entire challenge so far. And as we can see from our performance, it was a little rough at the start, went to the negatives for a bit, but the second we got that first decent trade, 7K profit, it's just been a slow grind uphill ever since then. And I can refresh the page. I can pull up the P&L card right here, 375.6 SOL. Everything's public, everything's on chain. You can see all my trades there. You can see that I've got a win rate of about 40 to 50%. And if I head to my top trades on this wallet so far, it goes from 30.2K, 11K, 9K, so on, so on, so on. And like I said, everything's public, everything's on chain if you don't believe me. So with that out the way, before I break down my trades and show you the live clips, you'll see that every single one of these trades was taken on the same trading platform, Axiom Pro. And that's going to be the first step you need to take. And if you want to trade like me, you want to hit these same exact trades, you want to 30x your entire portfolio, you need to be using the right trading platform. And like I said, that's going to be Axiom Pro. It's the fastest, it's the cheapest, it's the most secure because it's YC backed, and it gives you every single feature you need to have an advantage on the charts. If you're not using Axiom Pro, you're physically putting yourself at a disadvantage. Now, why would you do that? So let me show you how to set that up and all the filters that I use. So to sign up, head to the Axiom link in the description down below, and it should take you to this page right here. And as you can see, it should have Fortune in the bottom right here, and that's going to give you 20% off all fees, and it's going to save you a lot more on transactions. And once you see Fortune here, you can sign up with either your Gmail or your Phantom wallet. Either one works. Just make sure you save your private key at the end. And once you're done, it'll take you to this page right here. And from here, there's two places you can look for to hunt for coins. You discover trending page right here. Make sure trending is selected. Now, the difference between these two is that discover trending is only going to show you high volume coins, whereas pull section right here is going to show you every single new coin that drops from the very starting market cap that it spawns at. Now, you can use either one depending on your trading style, or if you have two monitors, you can see both. You can, have Pulse on one screen and Discover on the other, and that's the advantage of having a PC, guys. So try to trade on one if you can. Now, for the actual filters themselves, I'm going to give you both of them. So for the Discover Trending page right here, we're going to put in 8,000 for liquidity, 5,000 for volume, 6,000 for market cap, all the way to 100 million. That's 100 million. And 85 minimum transaction and 80 minimum transactions. And once you've got these, you're good. You can just sit here and wait for anything that's high volume coming up and just research it the second you see it. Now let's go into my preferred section, the Pulse tab. And this is where you're going to be able to see every single coin that spawns. But you can see without a filter, it's honestly chaos. There's literally a coin spawning every half second. You cannot track all this garbage with the blind eye. So we need to get your filters right. You're going to pull them up right here. Make sure go to metrics, and all you have to do is put in 10,000 minimum market cap. That's all you need. Keep it simple. That's the key. You're not going to make money off the filters. You're going to make it off your trading intuition, and that's the most important part. But this 10,000 filter is going to remove a lot of those coins that aren't getting organic volume, but still give you enough time to get good entry on any potential good coins. And once that's set up, you're completely good. Now that we've got our setup right, let's go into what you guys have actually been waiting for, which is the trade breakdowns and how I did them. So you guys can copy me and do the exact same thing and pull the same kind of numbers. So let's go in chronological order from May 12th all the way to where we are now. The biggest coin that I've caught at the beginning was Reply Guys right here. You can see that I made 85.35 SOL off of this. I pretty much doubled my entire portfolio in a single trade. So let's talk about this coin, how I was able to catch it, and why I knew it would do so well. So for Reply Guys, this happened during Believe Meta, which was when Launch a Coin, this thing right here, was extremely popular. It went on a literal only upstage from 0 to literally almost 300 million in just a single run, which is insane. And what Believe is a coin launching platform. So with the Memecoin this high, so many coins from the platform are popping up. The whole point of Believe, if you want to know about this meta, which is honestly still pretty popular right now, is it's pretty much tech that puts a person's startup on chain as a coin. It tokenizes startups. And when people make transactions on that coin, the people who launch that startup collect a percent amount of the fees generated from the coin. So in a way, it kind of turns that fee generation into funding for whatever startup project they have. So every single coin that comes out of this launch coin meta is going to be tech coins. And if you've been watching my videos, you know how to spot tech coins. So if I go back to Reply Guys right here, you can see that from the very start of the launch, it went through 700K in a single candle. And that was the thing with this meta, right? Every single coin was extremely volatile. It was shooting up and down super fast. And if you weren't used to this kind of trading style, you got absolutely washed. But like I said, you guys have been listening to me. So you guys have been honing your edge when there was low volume. And when this opportunity finally came up, when everybody was complaining saying, oh my God, they're just here to extract. How do we make money out of this? You guys were the on-chain killers that were making profits out of these charts and dumping on their heads. So for Reply Guys, but like I said, this spawned very high and I saw this a little bit late. So I was a little bit hesitant on bidding this, but I decided to look into it anyways. For tech coins, how you're going to research them, the only thing you need to look at are the coin's socials. And this applies more than ever for the Believe meta. So if I tap here, launched by this guy right here, 2IRL4U. So he previously worked at Polymarket, at Sonar, huge credentials, and he was working on an app, Reply Guys. And for the Believe meta, he was trying to get funding on his coin and app, Reply Guys. And TLDR, Reply Guys was set up to be a Twitter competitor. Really bullish tech. And at the time, the two main characters of the Believe meta, Pasternak right here and Nikita Bier. These guys, if they interacted with any coin, it instantly shot up. And being the first day of this whole Believe meta, I knew these guys were going to be interacting with some coins. But had to be number one, good tech, and number two, ideally a chart that was, still holding up well, where the creator didn't completely rug the coin. And where did that? And that process brought me into Reply Guys, someone with great backings, someone with great tech. And the second I noticed that, and you can see a bit right here, I was scalping the chart a little bit, trying to make some quick profits. But when I had my thesis formed, all the research done, I decided to accumulate. And I bought about 2.5K worth of supply. And through that, I just patiently held. And you can see instant huge candle right here from Nikita Bier interacting with the coin. He said he really liked the tech. And from there, I took profits really aggressively, managed to get out 85.35 SOL, and literally right after that, Nikita said, wait, I can't interact with the project. So I just dumped the rest of the supply I had right there, bought the FUD, and decided to scalp it one more time for some more EZP. Honestly, played this chart like a fiddle. Could have played this a little bit more perfectly, but honestly really happy with the profits that I made here. And a lot of the coins that I made solid money on this wallet for were literally the same thing. Just projects on Believe, which had solid backings and really decent tech, which I just happened to catch early, and I instantly knew they were good. All by hopping into the Twitter, seeing who it was launched by, looking at their followings, their followers, seeing what projects they had in the past, and instantly going out. These were super high volatility coins. And that's why it's so important to be aware of what kind of meta is going on and know what the leading narrative of these coins are. Because that's why so many people got washed during this, and I was still able to make money because I knew how to navigate this meta. And you can see here, another clean 22.54 SOL. Same exact process. Head to the socials and see the dev behind the project. That is the most important part of any tech coin. The tech does matter a little bit, as long as it's working, as long as it's somewhat innovative, it can be a small plus. But the most important part is finding out who is behind this coin. Crypto is an attention market. All of this stuff runs on attention. Nobody actually knows what this tech is worth. worth. And I guarantee you, nobody is going to be using this tech from these meme coin shitters in 2-3 years from now. You're here to make some easy, quick money. And how can you gauge whether something is going to get a lot of attention? You look at the person who's behind it. You look at the projects that they ran in the past, how much money they were funded with on previous projects, where they worked. That's something everyone can understand. If I see a coin centered around tech and the developer of that coin is from Harvard, oh shit, he's from an Ivy League and he's developing tech for meme coins. Any normal person who has no idea how to trade meme coins whatsoever can still get conviction on that. Why? Because he's from Harvard. And every single tech coin you trade is going to be a slightly different variation of that. So if I go to, once again, dupe right here, I talked about this in a previous video. Someone extremely huge was behind this coin. Someone really significant was behind this coin. This guy right here, Bobby from Dupe. And Dupe is one of the most highly used pieces of utility for people doing e-commerce. Do I know what the tech does? What Dupe does exactly? I do now. But I didn't know when I first bought into the coin, because that's honestly not what's important. The only important thing is I can see online that this is a popular app that a lot of people are using. This guy has a lot of money and this guy has a lot of statistical social proof. And because this is an attention market, that's the only thing that matters. And that's why I was able to make money off of this coin. Same thing for every single tech coin that I made money on. NXTB, same thing, another tech coin. Who's behind the coin? This guy right here. Honestly, not the best background. Could be a lot better. And that's why I didn't go as high as the other coins. But there was still some decent, solid social proof. It was on his Instagram. He was talking about it. It had a very solid website, a very clean UI. And sometimes that's all you really need for a tech coin. And the second I noticed that everything was legit, I bought in, made an easy, quick flip for almost 20 SOL. And I just repeated that over and over and over. You can see I've got multiple $1,000 trades. And the same thing is going to be going on for every single one. So as long as you know how to tackle one tech coin, you can tackle the rest. Because like I said, the tech doesn't matter. As long as it's working, that's all you need to know. Only thing you need to look for is who is the guy behind the coin, how much social proof do they have, how much money have they generated, how many views do they have, whatever, etc., etc. Anything you can gauge statistically. So let me show you the live execution of these so you can get a better idea. Now, of course, can't win all of them. I mean, there's a reason why my win rate is 40 to 50% and not 100%. So I definitely did take a couple losses. And one of the ones I want to talk to you guys about is Tequila, this thing right here. And this was another coin during the Believe meta, so another tech coin. As you can see, I took a 20 SOL loss, unfortunately. This was the second day of Believe meta. The first day had a ton more volume, but by the second day, so many people were just completely washed out from not being able to tackle Believe coins the right way. The entire platform just being pretty extractive in general. Developers and the person behind Believe, Pasternak, got a huge chunk of the fees, and that really held charts from really going. So what I'm trying to say is that the second day of Believe meta was supposed to be more risk off, but after printing really heavy on that first day, I was a little bit ignorant to the current market conditions. I thought I could handle the second day the same exact way, but as you can see, didn't really go exactly to plan. And at the start of the trade, you can see I was completely overinvested. 32.67 SOL bought on this single chart. Sure, not in a single transaction, but the second I took that first loss, I should have just moved on to the next trade. But instead, I didn't. And if I open up the Twitter, you can see the guy who ran it. Sure, it looks like he's associated with a lot of other companies. Everything looks fine. So I just saw this initially and I threw in pretty heavy. But what I didn't know is that this guy was a pretty incompetent dev. I mean, he was hosting his spaces while this coin was running, and he was literally playing League of Legends on his stream the second he dropped this coin. That was the first red flag I should have known. But I tossed that to the side and it didn't really mention the coin, what he was going to do with it on the spaces in depth, and all of that just really caused this coin to crash. But I hopelessly thought he would end up picking it up, which of course he didn't. I mean, this guy was playing League of Legends on the stream. Why would he just pick it up suddenly? And I got burnt. And this was a reminder to me to do research extremely thoroughly whenever you're buying tech coins. If there's anything that seems off, the dev's page is full of reposts, the coin's page is new, there's no actual post history or updates or footage about the coin being worked on in the past, any sort of information that kind of brings up a red flag in your head, you should just move on to the next play. And I got greedy, I didn't, I got impatient, and I ended up paying the price for it. But like I said, which is unfortunate, not all perfect, but this was a great reminder to me to definitely be a little more risk off during this second day of Believe meta. And I'm glad it only happened with 20 Sol, because I could have ended up losing a lot more. Now, the trade I know you've had your eye on this entire video, King right here, which I made $30,000 on in a single trade. And I'm not gonna lie, I did fumble this play a little bit. I did end up paper handing, but I bought all the way at the start right here, held down every single drawdown. I had my conviction, but unfortunately, I could have executed it a little better. Now, how did I cash this coin this early? Had the conviction to hold it for this long through every single drawdown and know it was going to play out to my favor. It's where I call this 30K trade you can see on my screen right now on King at 334K market cap for a 60x and some other really insane plays. Whole group's been printing heavy, so definitely go and take a look. So to start, if you've been watching my videos, same thing for the tech portion, you know that King Charles is a culture coin. It's a coin about an animal named King Charles, who is extremely viral right now. If you looked him up, he had over 100 million views on Instagram on the first day, which is insane, even for a cute animal. So we've got one part of what makes a good culture coin down. Everybody on social media knows who King Charles is. If you asked any of your friends who don't trade crypto at all, they'd probably know who King Charles is from their Instagram Reel feed, their TikTok feed, their Twitter feed, etc., etc. But with virality, you also need memeability. Now, there are a ton of viral animals out there. Everybody loves animals, right? Who doesn't? But King Charles, the reason why he went so viral was because there was a clip of him pretty much acting like a alpha dog, like a leader. This thing, he literally puts his foot on the other dog's neck. Yeah, it's so stupid. Like, this is what I made $30,000 on, really? But if you really look into this, crypto is an attention market. So we have virality. It's honestly pretty hilarious. This small, medium-sized dog has, if you can see here, this huge black dog right here, literally bowing down to him, and he's stepping on the other dog's neck. It's hilarious. I mean, there's a reason why this community is so strong right now. How he was able to get so viral. This is great memeability on top of an extremely viral animal. And that's what gave me enough conviction to buy here. Call it in my accumulate a shit ton of supply. Call it in fortune while I was buying at a lower entry than when I first bought at 334K while I was in the negative. Gave my thesis and boom, 20 million. Every single member printed. And going back to what I said before, I definitely could have executed it a lot better. I did end up paper handing a bit, but I was in a situation where pretty much my entire portfolio was sitting in a single coin. And because of that, maybe a little emotional, and I ended up taking way too many profits way too early on. And instead, what I should have done is separate my cells a little further from each other to have a higher average. That way, I could still have some initials and profits out the coin and still have a lot left riding up. But in the end, pretty much doubled my entire challenge portfolio from a single coin, and I'm honestly still pretty happy about that. And the fact that pretty much every single person in Fortune was able to eat off this coin. And that's genuinely what makes meme coins so great. With 20 Sol, because I accidentally bought another 20 right here, so it says 41, but in reality, it was 20. So with 20 Sol, all I needed was the proper research, what makes a good coin, and the belief in my own conviction. And through that, I was able to turn a few thousand into 30,000 in a single trade as a teenager. What? This genuinely should not be possible, but it really is in meme coins. So many people think it's gambling. So many people think you really can't make money off of this, but this entire history of trades proves them wrong. I've been consistently killing it in this game over a year. When you start to understand this narrative game, there's literally no ceiling to how much money you can make in this space. And you can see this isn't luck. This is a complete system that I can repeat over and over and over again for every single coin that I look at. I made $11,000 from Reply Guys right here, made $4,000 from another trade in the same coin, Reply Guys right here. Apply that same process to every single tech coin I made money on. NXT, Dupe, API layer, Dementia, so on, multiple $1,000 trades. If I pull this up, I got in early because I was able to look at the socials, the website attached, thought there was something in the app store, looked at the little information that was given by it, statistical social proof right here, did research on Twitter, found people speculating whether it was legit or not. I bought that speculation and I used that attention that was being generated from those people to catch it this early, sell out when I saw big wallets buying in because I knew there was a real chance that this could be fake. But it didn't matter if it was fake. I applied my system, I ended up making a 5x, made 30 Sol, clean and easy, because I knew how to navigate these tech coins. So just to recap, what did those coins need to run? For the tech coins, they needed a developer or product with social proof, something you can statistically gauge. Nobody cares about the specifics of the tech. It's an attention market. All you need to know is, in the eyes of a normal person, someone who doesn't know anything about crypto, does that developer or product's accolades appeal to them? And if they do, as long as there's some somewhat usable utility, doesn't even have to be great. There was literally a simple tweet organizer that ran to several millions a couple days ago just because the developer behind it had a lot of social proof. It's gonna run. Next, the culture coin trade that I took in this video. What does it need to run? King had massive virality for people outside of crypto. I literally had some friends in college who were literally sending me reels about King the alpha dog. And like with tech coins, it was something I could statistically gauge. I could go on Instagram and see that King had over 100 million views on Instagram alone. That didn't account for Twitter, TikTok, or any other social platform, just Instagram alone. And next, it needs a solid community. The King heart, even after the initial run up and the retrace, the King chart was holding up well. People were talking about King regularly. There was a community that made sure that mindshare was going to be there. And finally, it needs a sense of memeability. For King, it's literally a real life alpha dog. That's honestly hilarious. And as long as you focus on these concepts for the coins I was talking about in this video, you're gonna catch a run. Now you know exactly how I 30x'd my challenge wallet and what to look out for in coins. But if you want a group that'll help you find these coins in the first place and a great learning environment, go ahead and check out Fortune in the description down below. Thanks for watching and peace.